I believe a partnership would be better, as let's say the industry only got like a small team, then there's only so much you could do, especially if it's just two alone. One day with security, one just making sure everything up and running. It's gonna be tiring now. Partner with some security company.
Hi, thanks for joining us for another edition of Brava Talks. We're coming to you live from Guyana today, where we'll be having a chat about cybersecurity and protecting business infrastructure with cybersecurity analyst Cloyd London from Brava and systems administrator Marlon Prince from the Mercy Hospital. Let's dive right in. Gents, thanks for joining us today. So, Marlon, I want to direct my first question to you because a lot of times you'll read cybersecurity reports and they'll talk about humans being the main point of breaches, right? So, human error. I just wanted to get from your perspective, how much of a risk do you see your own staff as in the cybersecurity landscape?
Well, in terms of all stuff, I can't really talk about all. Mostly some of them. Most would be high risk, but some not so much. Because most of them would just see the internet and want to do their own stuff, but some know that they're at the workplace, we can do certain stuff, so they won't really do anything much. But it's the ones that just want to use the internet, there's the risk. Because they would just go to sites, don't know what doing, if anything getting tracked, and just click on whatever they want to do, and they just mess up everything.
Right, and Clyde, I mean, you would deal with these things not just from a singular organization's point of view, but from multiple organizations. So how much do you see it in your line of work where a breach happens and when you trace it back to the initial incident, it is related to human error?
Well, as it is right now, that risk, it continues to grow year after year. And this is whereby more awareness needs to take place to make sure, to ensure that staff within any organization do understand the dangers, right, of going on websites, right? Likewise, also to whereby we want to have awareness programs to educate staff them how to identify the different forms of risk, right? And it is very crucial for organizations to implement cybersecurity awareness training. So each employee within an organization can be a cybersecurity ambassador, and they can help that company also to fight this current plague, I would say, when it comes to the various forms of cyber attack that is currently facing all industries. So awareness is compulsory, right? And we have to remember that to help put that protection in place, we need the employees to play a part. It's not just the engineers alone, but everybody needs to play a part as well.
So I just want to dive in a little bit deeper on the human error side of things, right? Because in the digital world that we live in, obviously everybody has to remain connected. Everybody uses a smartphone, a laptop, and they'll need those things for work, right? But because these devices are getting more and more sophisticated, they're getting more and more expensive.
Right.
Most companies would lack the capital to put out upfront to purchase these devices for their employees. So they've adopted a bring your own device model where people can use their personal devices for work. That, though, Marlon, puts you at risk because obviously you now have mixing of the two. You have people accessing work information and secure information, or information that should be secure at least, on their personal devices. How much of a threat does that pose to you?
Well, see at Mercy, we don't let staff connect with servers using the personal device at all. The only way they could access it is through the computers connected to the internet. Even with the Wi-Fi, we don't let it connect to it because we don't know what it's be doing with the phone, what it's be size of accessing or anything. So we don't want to just come, log on, and open a random browser and then it just give you a security error or something. We don't want that to connect to the network with the personal devices unless it's one they get from Mercy itself. So we just want to shield out and don't let it connect in general.
Okay, so that's an interesting take. So you do provide the devices. Cloyd, you would probably work with some companies and help in protecting some companies that do have a bring your own device model. What are you seeing trending in that space?
It's an area of, I would say, of a critical matter, because based on the policies of that organization, they may yes have a robust cybersecurity policy whereby there's no way you could actually bring your personal device to actually do work for the company. And likewise, some companies, yes, there's some kind of flexibility with bring your own device. Now, we do have solutions that could help companies whereby they do not have that upfront investment to make purchases for all the staff, or especially new staff coming on board. So we have a solution called UEM, which is a unified endpoint platform. And what we do, we actually now install agents on every devices, right? For whether it's a current employee or a new employee. So with that being said, that does, it isolates those files that belongs to the entity from your files that you normally use. So in the event, let's say, that employee may actually lost their cell phone, lost a tablet, lost a laptop, right? That platform, the IT manager, likewise, our cybersecurity engineers as well, will have access on that platform to actually wipe that information as well. So that company now is no longer at risk whereby the critical information is being exposed, right? So we do have solutions to help companies in that case, but like I said, it is still a sensitive area whereby some companies are very, very strict. They would not entertain it. But for companies who do not have that kind of investment, we have a solution to help them there as well too.
Right. So we're talking a little bit about some of these solutions here. And Marlon, forgive me, but I'm just going to put you in the hot seat a little bit. While we talk about the solutions to those problems, there must be other problems that exist. So what are the problems that you face, or what are the challenges that keep you up with regards to securing your infrastructure?
All right, well, one, let's say we just connect one person, got the internet connection. You know, in phones, you could just pull a BQ record and scan it on another one. Well, for Avida, we add a policy to the servers that only way they could connect and actually get into it is if we go on the server, disable the list and enable the phone for connect, and then add it to allow list. But as long the policy up, even if they scan it, they won't be connected to the server in general. So yeah.
Okay, seems like you all have a pretty secure environment. Cloyd, a lot of people say cybersecurity is kind of like insurance, right? You don't realize you need it, or you don't get it until it's too late. A lot of companies seek out security practitioners after there's already been a breach, right?
Yeah.
How critical would you say it is to shape policies proactively in order to defend against cyber threats?
That's a good question there. I do believe we have to change the way how we deal with cybersecurity. Because what happened over the years, right? I mean, from the past until now, it was a culture whereby IT engineers, the executives, all they need is to get their business working. But this is whereby now we have transformed, and we now have to realize that everything that connects to the internet, there's a risk. So the more you continue to add more features on your network, right, the risk continues to grow. So cybersecurity now needs to be proactive element and not a reactive element now. So we need now to have cybersecurity from the get-go. Whatever project you're working on, cybersecurity needs to be implemented. So that culture, that mindset needs to change. Because if we continue to work in the past, how we actually dealt with cybersecurity, waiting for something to happen, the side effects is it's great. The side effects. I want to say great, not in a positive way, but in a bad way. Because, for example, if a business gets hacked, right, and based on the nature of that attack, that business now is out of service. That is one. Two, if that business is dealing with information, right, PII, personal identification information, automatically now the customers whose information is exposed, their birth certificates, their passport, their ID card records, and so on, they now can actually sue that organization as well. So this is whereby now we have a legal element now. Sorry, not us, but the organization have a legal element to face. Likewise, as well too, if that is an ISP or insurance company, a health sector company, more than likely now, whichever other territory they're facing, some other organization can become equipped to compete against them because, okay, your business now is down. Now I have no advantage over you. So what happens now, we have to realize that playing a blind eye to cybersecurity infrastructure, you're putting the business at risk, and then you're putting you allow the nations now to build cases on against you to say you're no longer competent to actually safeguard my information. This is whereby we have to show each customer that we're here to protect your data, and likewise too, the top management have to make sure that cybersecurity is from the foundation all the way up. So we cannot continue to have that culture whereby we just want to look at systems are working and that's about it. And when something happens, we're going to now act. We have to be much more proactive.
Great. So, Marlon, I think to close this out, I just want to find out from you, based on all the things we've discussed today and your knowledge of the industry, I see a lot of companies try to go it alone, so to speak, in the fight against cybercrime. So they will use only the persons that they employ, their bare bones staff, whether it be a team of IT professionals or one person. They'll try to lean on that person and maybe some security devices to keep themselves protected. Do you see the value in doing that over partnering with a managed security services provider like Brava, or do you prefer to lean on the side of partnership in fighting against cybercrime?
I believe a partnership would be better, because let's say the industry only got like a small team, then there's only so much you could do, especially if it's just two alone. One day with security, one just making sure everything up and running. It's gonna be tiring now. Partner with some security company, it would be better because they ain't gotta lean all on these two alone. Let's say one out of commission and the other one just overworking and something goes wrong, we could say, all right, the security company would be like, call and you say, all right, you got an issue happening at this computer or somewhere else, just check it out, and you could just work like that.
Excellent. And Cloyd, any final thoughts from you on that?
Yeah. This is whereby I would advocate for companies that do not have the human resources to invest in cybersecurity. It is better to outsource, right? Because we have to understand, an IT engineer is an IT engineer. And putting him or her to actually deal with cybersecurity matters, there will be some misalignments happening. And likewise, and even despite there may be some common security controls that IT engineer will know, at the end of the day, they still do not understand the whole architectural layout of how to implement cybersecurity. So this is whereby you actually put in that individual or team of persons on the strain to now implement something that is not working because they don't have the understanding of how cybersecurity works. So it is better for organizations to outsource it to an MSP who has the skill sets in the various segments in cybersecurity. So when they come in, they can actually now give you a high-level overview. What are the areas you need to focus, and then they now actually give you a roadmap to implement those cybersecurity solutions.
Excellent. Well, gents, thank you so much for taking the time to join us today. Sure, I speak on behalf of the audience, as well as myself, in saying we've gained some valuable insights from this discussion. So thank you, and thanks to you for tuning in to another edition of Brava Talks.